our friends, Jared, Patrick, and Elliot, because now none of us need business cards anymore. Please welcome to the stage Jared Mattson, Elliot Potter, and Patrick Sullivan from
Hello.
Linq.
How's it going? Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, so that's still gonna be on. There you go. I'm gonna stay out here if you don't mind. All right. So here's the deal. When you showed this to me for the first time, I thought, wait a minute, haven't there been business card apps? Like, what's gonna make this one different? And you started to explain, but now explain to everybody, first of all, how this got started. Let's talk about you guys and how the whole thing got started.
Okay, so how many of you have had one of those interactions before? So you meet somebody that's potentially really valuable, maybe a great hire for your company, maybe somebody you just want to really stay in touch with, and the kind of climax of the whole thing is either a business card, which is a piece of paper in a digital world, or it's this like dance where what's your number, how do you spell your name, and then you've forgotten their name, so you're like, oh, I meant your last name, and then it's just awkward. How many of you have faced that? Pretty much everybody, right? It's terrible. So to answer your question of, how is it different, where did it come from, to kind of paint you guys a picture, we're all three friends. We're full-time at Shipt, shout out to Shipt, and worked together there, and we were at an event one night, this networking event, and we all ran into those problems where we did the awkward text message dance, or we didn't have business cards. Like our generation, like we just don't really carry them much. At least we don't. Maybe it's just us. And we got to talking about it at the end of the night, and we were like, now wait a second. We're in software development and biz dev. Like we can put our heads together and think of something better. And we're going to get to why we think we're better than all those business card apps you've used in the past here in a sec. But we put our heads together, and by the end of that weekend, we had a super hideous, some of our close friends are in here, but working prototype of what we thought was a solution to that problem. And it just kind of grew from there. Like we were showing it to our close friends and some of our coworkers, and people were like, how do I get one of those? And it was really just to solve a problem for us. And we thought, now, wait a second, maybe we have something here. So we built it into a platform that other people could come onto, and we tried to make it as seamless and as frictionless as possible.
Yeah, and it is completely seamless. Like that first time, that's what I was shocked about, was just how easy it was to like, bam, there's your information, and at the same time, you then have my information. I didn't have to download an app either. So so it's not an app, correct?
Yeah. So is this live? Can y'all hear me? All right, here we go. So the way that we built this technology is really like what we've seen in the past. Everybody has apps, and when you meet somebody, it's not super exciting if the first thing you have to do is go to the app store, wait for your cell connection to download this app. Depending on the size, it takes 30 seconds to minutes. So really what we set out to do with what we were building here was to make the technology in a way to where it gets out of the way. Like we want to have these connections be fluid in the moment when you're meeting these people. Let the technology get out of the way. And that's really what we were focused on when we were thinking about how to build these flows and how to go after the tech that we were using. So that kind of leads up to like, we don't have an app. In these situations where you're meeting these people, you're just going to scan. You're going to see this flow in a little bit. Little teaser there. But you're going to see this flow in a second, but it's super easy. It just opens up in a web browser. You're able to give us a little bit of information for the first time. And then after that, it just works. And that's really what we were focused on when we were doing this.
And it lives in my Apple Wallet. That's where it is. So on my phone or on my watch, bam, I just pull that up, and there's Linq. And so I just point that at whoever I'm trying to awkwardly network with. They point their phone at me, and bam, we have each other's information with all that bonus stuff. And one thing with my business cards, my personal business cards, I don't use them anymore. So now I have them just all over my closet, because that information is no good anymore. Like I changed jobs, like I changed socks. So like it's not the same stuff that was valid a couple of years ago. So I just stopped getting business cards made. But this changes that game because I can just change the information anytime I'd like.
Exactly. Yeah, the moment you update the information in our app, it flows into your wallet. And it's just like if you all have used like mobile boarding passes to get on the planes, it's very similar to that. Just if you have Apple Pay or if you're on Android, you can just pull up this wallet. It's just a little QR code and you scan it, and then you've got it.
People have Androids?
He said that, not us.
As a mobile developer, unfortunately, some people.
I know, I'm just kidding. Here's the thing. I just don't have enough knowledge to use an Android. That's why I have to stick with Apple products. So that's a joke on me for sure. So what's the deal? Why did this technology, or why are you guys the first ones doing this? What has changed to make this app different? Because there have been, like we said, a bunch of business card apps in the past.
Right. So the ability for the camera to read the QR code, that's relatively new. Like it just came out like end of 2018. So there's all kinds of opportunity now with the QR code because no one was going to go download a third-party app to read QR codes. That's why they were dying out. Like no one wanted to do that.
That's the truth. I never used them before because I didn't want to have to go through the process of opening that extra app. So now you just open the camera.
Exactly. You just hold it over it. You don't even have to take a picture. You just hold it over it and it's going to automatically read it.
With the iPhone, that is built in, but we do need to point out with the Android, there's one step, right?
For our 15 Android users out here.
That's not true. Android's great.
17.
Android is
I
great.
heard 17 people.
We are
booted.
not hating on Android.
We will need them to turn Google Lens on, and then they will be able to read it.
Yeah, so that's the only thing. You just have to turn your Google Lens on, and then all of a sudden it will read the QR codes as well without having to go to an app. So outside of that, what do you think makes this really stand out from the other apps that have been in the past?
How many of you guys have used Linq so far today? Raise your hand. We've seen a bunch of connections, so I know a bunch of you. A lot of volunteers. We've tried to make it really fun to use, to be honest. Like, at first it was very functional, right? But as our friends started giving us feedback and people we trusted, we were like, okay, this works, but like, let's make it fun. So, I don't know. I still love scanning people. This thing's about 3 months old, and I think it's already my favorite thing that I've ever done.
For sure, I love it. And we also identified like such an opportunity with the business card because right now, statistics show 88% of business cards are thrown out in 1 week. Like think about all of those potential relationships or networking opportunities are just thrown away because people need a better solution than a paper business card.
Yeah, it's really insane that we still lean on a paper product like this in this day and age. Nothing else. We use paper like this except the annoying business cards.
One of the things you'll see is, a lot of those apps, if we're tech people, so we can talk this shop. If
You guys are tech people.
if there wasn't like a mutual, if you both didn't have a business card app, up until now, they couldn't do like the geofencing like you mentioned. And so one of the things we wanted to do was like, let's say you meet somebody at Sloss Tech today, you're probably going to forget their name. Even if you link with them, you're probably going to forget their name. But when you make the connection, I promise you're going to see this in a minute. When you make the connection, we've geofenced like Sloss Tech as an event, just like you'd see on a Snapchat or an Instagram. And when you remember that software engineer that you met at Sloss Tech that you really want to pluck from their company and hire, you search through your connections like Sloss Tech, or maybe you remember they're a software engineer, or maybe you took a note that they're an Alabama fan and you really despised that. Then you could search that. And so we try to add context as quickly, as seamlessly, and as instantly as possible to give you the best chance of following up and making that relationship successful down the road.
I think we've done a good job of alienating all the Android Alabama fans. Sorry. All right, also, we do need to give a shout out to Sloss Tech because without you guys being participants in Sloss Tech from the audience, we wouldn't be sitting here on the stage this year, correct?
So this is my favorite part of the story. How many of you guys remember? Actually, there's 2 Sloss Tech stories. I'm just gonna go through both quickly. First year,
This is
Andy.
Elliot's
Who
story
remembers
time.
Andy Gragnon? He was on the team that built the iPhone.
He's the guy that cursed a lot, the bald guy that said the F word in front of children throughout his whole speech.
He was like a tech pirate. So Andy, excuse me, Andy, I met at lunch that day, and this was 3 or 4 years ago. Old Elliot. I also didn't do business cards then, and I saw him at lunch, and I really wanted to follow up with him and just talk ideas and whatever. He's a really smart dude. I didn't have a business card. We were finishing up lunch. I went to this kind of length. I pulled out my driver's license, and I handed it to him, and I was like, you have to keep this till I get back, or I'm out of life for like 3 months. And he was like, you're crazy. I ran home, dripping sweat. We lived downtown, and I ran back with a business card that I rummaged out. It was like 3 positions ago it shipped, rummaged out from a drawer, handed it to him as he was getting in his Uber, and he was like, you're insane, but that worked. And that in combination with, who remembers last year when Bill Smith answered the question, somebody said, what if I have an idea, like a potential viable solution for what I think is a big problem? What do I do? He was like, He might have cursed too. But
probably
basically,
did,
go
yeah.
frickin' build it. Who remembers Bill saying that last year? So we were sitting there, and we made a decision. We didn't have this idea then, but we made a decision to not show up at Sloss Tech next year without something. We had no idea we would be on stage showing it to people, but here we are.
Here we are
So
indeed.
thank you, Sloss Tech.
Yeah, so let's do that. Let's show it to everyone, right?
Let's do it.
Woo, here we go.
All right, I'm going to believe in faith that this is working. All right. You'll see our boy Elliot behind me. If you guys would like to pull out your camera and hold it over that QR code,
You can just zoom in
give it a
on it.
nice little pinch to zoom, and tap on it to focus.
We want to see every phone in the audience pointed at this right now.
And we're all going to send Elliot inappropriate text later.
My phone's about to actually melt, so thank you.
As soon as you scan that, you will see a drop down from My Linq pop up. Click on that. That'll take you right to his profile page, and then you'll be able to sign up right from there. As soon as you sign up, it'll give you the option then to, looks like everybody's still downloaded. I'll wait till the next screen. But,
What you got? We got.
move our head.
Oh.
Oh, I want to stand up anyways. This is exciting.
Is that me too? Sorry. You got big heads.
Can everybody get their camera on that?
Can we throw up a prayer for our servers too? This is our first public exposure, so prayers up.
So hopefully that sign-up page is popping up for you. Go ahead and put your name, phone number, and email in. Push connect. You'll then be able to download your own card that will go automatically into your digital wallet, and you will be able to log into your profile at mylinq.co. And you're going to want to do that here pretty quickly because we got a pretty exciting contest that we want to run by you guys. So here is the flow right here.
Yo, was that fun or what? I told you it was fun.
So real quick, if you didn't get to scan it, you can just go to mylinq.co in your mobile web browser, and you can sign up and get it that way.
Yeah, so
too.
that includes if you can't figure out Google Lens right now, or if your phone's just not scanning it for whatever reason.
Or if you're an Alabama fan.
Or if you're an Alabama fan. I actually am an Alabama fan. I was trying to just whatever. If you go to mylinq, mylinq.co, you'll be able to sign up without a scan from there, and then for the rest of the day you can scan other people.
So let's get to this contest.
We got a contest.
We got a contest.
It's a contest.
So that's what you're going to get. You're going to get your card that goes into your wallet. You're going to get your profile, and you're going to want to get that all up to date because
why?
Because whoever has the most Linq connections at Sloss Tech today is going to win $500 from us and our partners over at American Family Care. So shout out to them.
That sounds like paying for your ticket and a nice dinner at over at Pizzitz tonight, maybe.
It's an expensive dinner.
So, with that said, let's link. And if you have any questions or feedback you want to give, you can find any of the Sloss Tech volunteers. They'll be able to answer your questions for you. Or you can find anyone in a black Linq shirt. We'll have a booth set up in the back, and we can, like I said, talk you through any questions and help you get through your profile setup.
All right, there you go. So throughout the day, I'll be updating you on who has the most connections, and that way you'll know how you're doing in the competition. Let's give a big round of applause for our friends here, Jared,
Thank
Elliot,
you,
and
guys.
Patrick.
Thank you.